Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. Or yes, it's a great panel today. It is basically all red. Lekin obviously Man City fan in the house already. मैं देख रहा हूँ. Absolutely, I see that. We are coming to that as well. It is the Manchester derby, and of course, मतलब in a match वहाँ पर Pep Guardiola है और of course Eric Ten Hag है. How can we not have on screen the two special bald men, and they are special, let me tell you. And I am a fan of Eric Ten Hag, and Pep Guardiola has already proven that he's special. लेकिन नॉट जस्ट द मैनचेस्टर डार्बी भाई, हमें बात करना है समवेयर डाउन द लाइन मैनचेस्टर गाइज इन द हाउस भाई, विद अ चेल्सी फैन कहीं ना कहीं वो दुख दर्द पीड़ा अभी भी है, विद अ सर्टेन मेसन माउंट एंड सम अदर अ लॉट ऑफ अदर ट्रांसफर्स। इनफैक्ट मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड की बात करनी है, थोड़ा बहुत मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड का सीजन रिव्यू भी कर लेंगे। सो देयर इज अ लॉट टू बी डिस्कस्ड। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वेलकम टू द पैनल। पहले अंशुमान एज वेल एज नेथन। अंशुमान, क्या हाल है भाई? मतलब नर्वस एनर्जी एज थिंग्स स्टैंड, बिकॉज लेट्स बी रियल, डबल ट्रबल हो सकता है फॉर ईदर ऑफ द साइड्स, लेकिन आई थिंक ट्रेबल इज व्हाट यू वांट टू अवॉइड मोर, और डू यू वांट टू विन योरसेल्फ द कप मोर?
या ऑफ कोर्स सी देखो, ये जो टीम है जिस तरीके से पैसे खर्च करके टीम बनाई है ना, दैट्स कॉल्ड स्मार्ट रिक्रूटिंग हर तरीके से। व्हेन यू लुक एट सिटी, हमने भी पैसा बहाया है पानी की तरह, बट वी हैव नॉट डन व्हाट वी कुड हैव डन, यू नो, बिकॉज बोर्ड बिल्कुल इनकम्पिटेंट है, ओनर्स उस तरीके के हैं, बट उस चीजों में नहीं जाएंगे। दे हैव डन अ ब्रिलियंट जॉब, यू नो। सिटी इज द टीम टू बीट इन द लास्ट 7-8 years, इसमें कोई किसी को डाउट नहीं होना चाहिए। इवन इन इंग्लैंड एज वेल एज इन यूरोप, वो वहां पे जाके ओवर थिंकिंग करते थे, दे यूज्ड टू लूज। They have not done that this time. They have brought in Haaland. They have reached the final again. So, as I have said, for United, it's the biggest match of the season. You know, लोग बोल रहे हैं treble, but वही है, quadruple की बात चल रही थी लिवरपूल की। So you are 180 minutes away from completing a treble, but at the same point of time, you are 180 minutes away from ending the season with just Premier League. You know, so football,
That's a good point.
obvious सी बात है, we can talk about it. City overwhelming favorites, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है। हमारे पास स्ट्राइकर नहीं है, एंटनी इज आउट ऑलरेडी, मार्शल इज आउट ऑलरेडी, तो बेवर्स के साथ हम जा रहे हैं बेसिकली इन द फाइनल। सो दैट शोज, यू नो, द वर्क दैट एरिक टेन हाग हैज डन विद दिस टीम। मतलब बिना स्ट्राइकर के थर्ड पोजीशन पे लेके आना, गेटिंग अ कप ऑलरेडी, गेटिंग इनटू द फाइनल ऑफ अनदर कप। If not for a capitulation against Sevilla, we could have been, you know, winning the Europa League as well. Who knows? But yeah, third place finish. Nervous energy obviously. As I said, City overwhelming favorites. In my opinion, it's like you go without thinking anything much. Sorry, not thinking, overthinking. In my opinion, मतलब जा यार, जिस तरीके से you have played at Old Trafford उस तरीके से खेलो. If our manager overthinks the situation, the way that he did against Liverpool, तब मुझे लगता है तब यूनाइटेड को परेशानी बहुत ज्यादा हो सकती है। If you just keep it calm, you never know. You know, you have team of winners. You know, when you look at the players like Casemiro हो गया, you know, and now that you have a trophy, ठीक है यार, Carabao Cup बोलो, but it has come after like 6 years. ठीक है, 6 साल बाद तुमने ट्रॉफी जीती है, तो एक मेंटालिटी चेंज होती है कि भाई 6 साल से तुमने फुटबॉल चाहे जैसा भी खेला, तुमने ट्रॉफी नहीं जीती ना। 6 साल में एक ट्रॉफी ऑलरेडी आ गई है। You have your own season on the line in terms of कि भाई तुम सिटी का सीजन बेकार कर सकते हो, you know, right? You never know. You beat City in the final, all of a sudden City are not feeling that confident about the Champions League final as well, you know, and you go out and you basically give up in the final, and then City be like, अरे हमने तो इनको तो पेल दिया पकड़ के, तो अबे
अदर वे राउंड भी हो सकता है सिटी का, क्योंकि जैसे हमारा हुआ था, यू नो, सिटी आर डिफरेंट लेवल इन टर्म्स ऑफ द कंसिस्टेंसी, द क्वालिटी, द स्क्वाड। लेकिन 2021 में हमने किया था एफए कप फाइनल, वी लॉस्ट इट, आई रिमेंबर, एंड द चैंपियंस लीग फाइनल वी वन इट, राइट? सो इट कुड बी द अदर वे राउंड। भाई यहाँ पर ना सब लोग यहाँ पर बिग अप यार, बिग अप टू एवरीवन इन द चैट। मुझे सुनने में आया आज नोटिफिकेशन नहीं आई है, तो सब लोग यहाँ पर जो भी है, नेथन हमें रिजॉइन करेंगे। आई थिंक ही हैड सम इंटरनेट इश्यू, सो ही इज गोइंग टू रिजॉइन इन अ सेकंड। आई हैव कॉल्ड अदर यू नो पीपल इन द पैनल एज वेल, लेकिन ऑब्वियसली बिग अप टू अंशुमन एंड नेथन टू जॉइन। भाई सब लोग, अगर आपको नहीं पता भाई, अंशुमन एंड नेथन highly recommended channels, man. Highly recommended. Let's get Anshumaan to 5K tonight, man. Let's get there. Bhai, come on, my almighty fam. We can do that as a fam for sure. Plus, at the same time, bhai, if you have not heard Anshumaan speak, man, you are missing out by happiness in life. I'm telling you, bhai, ये बंदा अलग ही level का है. At the same time, Nathan, जैसे दिखता है ना वैसे बोलते हैं. That's what I love about these guys, as well as a lot of other Man United people in the community, as much as we are Chelsea fans in the house. And talk about Chelsea fans, bro. Chelsea perspective in the house. My brother from another mother is also here. Why people? every description has Chelsea perspective tagged along with a couple of other channels जो हमारे Almighty Goats है. तो भाई Almighty Goats, Almighty Coaches उनको भी follow करिए. Let's spread the level. Let's have more likes into the stream and hit that bell notification icon as well. A lot to be discussed in terms of transfers. अभी अच्छे चिकनी चुपड़ी बातें कर रहा हूँ. जब ट्रांसफर पाएंगे कहीं ना कहीं आज वर्ल्ड वॉर 3 होने वाला है, लग रहा है मुझे ऐसा, मतलब मुझे फीलिंग आ रही है between me and Anshumaan or me and Nathan. Let's see, we'll get there for sure. But अबे come on bro, भाई ये अबे I know why you're saying, मैंने highlight नहीं करना है because you all know I'm a Jose Mourinho fan. Quick मैं 2 cents देता हूँ. कल भी हमने बात की थी when Zibai was in the house. I'm telling you clearly, yes, of course he was wrong. As Jose Mourinho shouldn't do certain things, I 100% agree. But हम सब भूल जाते हैं, he is human. And मैं ऐसे नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि बंदा जान में उसके हमेशा करता है.
I will defend भाई भैया, मैंने भी comment देखा. I will defend Jose Mourinho.
तो हाँ मतलब correct. So basically,
what the fans did against Anthony Taylor, that I'm not going to say कि भाई
how
उन्होंने
can
सही
we
किया.
target Jose Mourinho by himself? He should be a little careful, but it's not the reason why the fans did certain things. So I know off topic है, but come on, वो चीज हम बाद में कवर करेंगे.
We can talk about it. As I said, I am not going to blame Jose Mourinho. भाई उसकी टीम पहुंची है यार फाइनल में. Anthony Taylor is solely responsible for.
Yeah, and he's a disgrace, yaar. He's a disgrace. It's just that the fans need to be.
He's a human. उसकी टीम फाइनल हार रही है. He could have, back-to-back European championships. क्या बातें कर रहे हो यहाँ पे?
Exactly.
ये भी नहीं बोल सकते कि भाई they were outplayed. सेविया के एटलीस्ट 2-3 बंदे रेड लेके बाहर जाते. सेविया could have easily conceded a penalty जो कि उन्होंने दिया, एंथनी टेलर ने दिया नहीं.
पेनल्टी छोड़ो भाई, कार्ड्स भी, मतलब मैंने डिटेल में ऑलरेडी बात कर लिया अंशुमान. आई डोंट वांट टू गेट इनटू डिटेल्स इन दैट. बॉटम लाइन बीइंग दैट, how can we single out one person for whatever it has happened? Yes, he has a responsibility, but वो भाई ठेका नहीं ले रखा है. Let's be real about it. तो वो easy target बन जाता because of his demeanor. But again, coming back to Manchester United and of course the FA Cup final, Nathan is in the house. Nathan, big up bro. Bye Nathan, what is your take generally getting into this FA Cup final? We briefly discussed I think a couple of days ago. How are you feeling now that less than 24 hours are remaining? What is your feel about it? It's more about basically just making sure that you keep like a tight, as in a structure on the pitch, or just go with the fight, because Manchester United have actually beaten Man City, if I'm not wrong, in January, right? So it is a possibility. Again, Man City have a European final to look after next week, and let's be real, as much as they won the treble, little bit edge would be taking the European final into consideration. So how would you be right now if you're Erik ten Hag in terms of setting up the team?
Honestly, Ankit bhai, I honestly think we have to just go for it. Yeah, the way Erik ten Hag speaks, right? Someone asked him, "Are you looking forward to stop City's treble?" He's like, "We're not looking forward to stopping the treble. We're looking forward to winning the FA Cup." And I think that is exactly, he's not falling into the usual media traps people follow into. And I like that answer. I think you have to look at it for the game it is. It is an FA Cup final for us. Everyone's talking about a treble for them, but if you're from the red side of Manchester, you're basically thinking about yourself. You're not really thinking about the treble. What Inter Milan does is what Inter Milan does. Can't believe I'm saying this, but we might have to rely on Lukaku.
Oh man,
that's all I need to say about that. I think we need to just go for it. And there are certain things we will talk about towards the end, I guess, where we pick which team we want to play in the FA Cup. I think he needs to make those changes for me to feel a lot better. But right now, it's just nerves, but very optimistic, I will say. We are 4 and 6 in the last 10, so it's pretty even. Last season, I believe we lost both the games, so basically it's dead even if you take out last season in the last 10 meetings. So why not?
I think it's been what, 6-3 to Man City, 4-1 to
6-4.
Man City. So
okay.
I think
the
previous game to that, and then you have recently 2-1. Then you have, मैं दिखाई देता हूँ आप लोगों को, basically this is, मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि यार basically that Manchester United have like a clear thing about just defending.
City dominate किया after Sir Alex left. That domination was put out of the window by Ole. Right. Ole came in, he defeated Pep 3 times in a year. So and after the first game where we lost 6-3 against City, in the second game when we played at Old Trafford, that's why I always say that Erik ten Hag is going to be more successful, than some of the other managers he's compared to. he could feel it that obviously as fans we already know that we cannot go 2-2 against City at this point of time. He understood that. He was like, against City at Etihad, he went with two wingers, striker. He was like, let's try to match them. We got hit because our midfield was absolutely open. Against City at Old Trafford, we nullified them in the midfield. We kept De Bruyne out of the game and they hardly created any chance. The one goal that we conceded, that was basically the only good chance they had throughout the 90 minutes. And we end up winning the game. So he understood that, okay, you cannot go out against the likes of, Haaland, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Grealish, and try to win it by playing 90 minutes against them because they will have the possession. And this is a team, everyone forget that this is the first season for Erik ten Hag as a manager. They totally forget that. They start comparing with Arteta and everybody else. उनको ये नहीं पता कि भाई Arteta 4 साल से टीम लेके घूम रहा है. And then they will say कि भाई Arteta ने पैसे नहीं खर्चे. भाई Arteta ने 300 से ऊपर मिलियन पैसे खर्चे. तो ये हाफ कुछ थ्योरीज और स्टोरीज लेके आते हैं. ठीक है, 4 साल की टीम और 1 साल की टीम. पहले सीजन में पेप गार्डियोला ने कुछ नहीं जीता सिटी के साथ. तो अब उसको क्या नल्ला मैनेजर बोल दूं मैं कि भाई तुम्हारा तो कुछ नहीं आया था पहले सीजन में. So even someone like Pep Guardiola, he took a season. कि चलो ठीक है भाई क्या एडजस्टमेंट करनी है. ये बंदा वेगहॉर्स्ट और मार्शियल के साथ खिला रहा है यार. ग्वार्डियोला के पास फिर भी एक ऐसी टीम थी who was the Premier League winners. हम 6 नंबर से आए हैं. We have already gained 18 points from last season. So everything, as I said,
context needs to be taken into consideration basically.
Exactly. ये नहीं कि भाई अब फाइनल है all of a sudden you try to do the same mistake again that you did at Etihad. अगर हम बिल्कुल 15 minutes का phase out, 30 minutes का phase out करके करेंगे, we might end up winning. But अगर 2-2 जाने का try करेंगे, then I don't think at this point of time, ये final में after playing so many games, we have enough to go against City 90 minutes. वो possible नहीं है.
Nathan, like again, very good points here by Anshumaan. And yes, by the way, everyone, we are going to be discussing transfers, the Manchester United season review as well. We are planning to do, और बहुत सारे बात मेरे ओर से भी pending है. Being a Chelsea fan and a fellow Premier League fan, लेकिन Nathan, the point that Anshumaan said that toe-to-toe वाला चीज you cannot probably go for it. So considering that, is it probably time? Let me just take a look at the injuries. I think you guys have Lisandro.
We don't have Anthony and we don't have Anthony, Van de Beek and
I think Lisandro, Anthony and Martial are probably the ones which would have featured who are not featuring as such, right?
So Lisandro and Anthony and Martial.
Yeah, 3 of them, right? So would you consider shoring up the midfield in say a McFred and play like a 4-3-3 with Bruno playing on the rightish side, which already you are planning to, I believe, under Erik ten Hag with Mason Mount coming in, which we'll talk about?
Honestly, I'm hoping we play the same formation. I remove Eriksen and play Fred. Because I slightly disagree with Anshumaan. I wouldn't call it toe-to-toe, but I feel like we kind of went toe-to-toe with them in the second leg too, where we nullified Haaland and I feel we completely nullified Haaland and De Bruyne. I think Fred was doing that Ji-sung Park thing where he just follows the player. He doesn't really do what I would say anything when he doesn't have the ball. I think if we do that to some extent, I think we can have a great showing. I don't want us to sit back and play 30 passes in 45 passes in 30 minutes like Madrid. I mean, I was just telling people when I was watching the stream, my own watch along, I was telling people even when we lost 6-3, we never played that defensively. And we only were trailing 3-1 in the first half. It's like we can't sit back like that. We will get taken apart. Like people say defensively, but what does defensively mean? Like right in our own box? We might as well not show up. We might as well not show up tomorrow. We kind of gotta go toe for toe in certain areas of the field. Otherwise, they'll just overrun us, and we might as well not participate in the FA Cup.
You have a special, I believe, pair there. I believe Pudin or Shagunya bol rahe Team Kohli.
Let's hope he's a City fan. I hope he's a City fan. City fan. Lovely.
ये पेप गार्डियोला और रोनाल्डो का फैन है ना दोनों, बेसिकली व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड.
अरे वो किसी का फैन नहीं है, उसको पैसा पकड़ा वो उसकी जर्सी पहन के घूमेगा, उसकी टेंशन नहीं. मैं तो उसका फैन हूं, मैं तो बोल सकता हूं लेकिन कोई नहीं. कोहली बुलाया होता देन आई वुड हैव बीन वरीड क्योंकि कोहली कर्स इज रियल. just like Kardashian curse, just like उसका curse क्या नाम है उसका यार?
किसका?
एक और बंदा यार, the rapper, Drake.
The Drake curse in MMA is real. The Drake curse in MMA is real.
Yes, that's a real curse.
अब तो लग रहा है भाई कोहली कर्स भी, जब से ये घूम रहा है ना हैरी केन के साथ, जब से इसने फोटो खिंचवाई है भाई ने, तब से तो ये जिसके साथ जाता है उसका बेड़ा गर्क है.
हाँ बिल्कुल. लेकिन कमिंग बैक टू द लाइनअप अगेन, अंशुमन, मतलब व्हाट वुड बी योर लाइनअप अगेन? भाई सब न्यूट्रल्स भी बोल दिए फ्रॉम अ सिटी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू एज वेल.
I won't start Garnacho. Garnacho is not a 90-minute player right now. I don't want Garnacho to go 90 minutes against the likes of Kyle Walker. खा जाएगा Kyle Walker उसको 90 मिनट में. I will set
would you go with Weghorst and play Rashford of the left then?
No. I will go 4 in the midfield.
Oh, okay.
I am going the same lineup that we went against City at Old Trafford. थोड़े से changes करने पड़ेंगे because we have Licha missing. So Licha की जगह we will have someone like Lindelof. Left back पे I will go with Shaw. Right back I will go with Wan-Bissaka. डलो नहीं स्टार्ट करूंगा मैं फाइनल. In the midfield I will go with Fred. I will go with Casemiro. एरिक्सन को थोड़ा फ्री रोल मिलेगा, उसको टेंशन नहीं रहेगी कि भाई पीछे जाके he has to retrieve the ball. So he can keep on playing his natural game. He can look for the passes. And Bruno को भाई फ्री रोल में तुम कहीं पे भी खिला सकते हो. He can take on your right hand side. He can take on your left hand side. Rashford आगे ही रहेगा. Sancho will start because we don't have Anthony. So Garnacho, Pelestri for the final 30 minutes I can think of, but I won't start either of them. Obviously Pelestri तो वैसे भी start नहीं करेगा, but Garnacho नहीं. Garnacho I will keep for the last 30 minutes. और Weghorst को तो hopefully हमें जरूरत ना पड़े Weghorst की, तो ज़्यादा better हो.
वो डायलॉग तो मारा है कि भाई 2 goal is not the right thing to basically come up with if you're a striker, but
मारने में क्या जाता है भैया?
let's wait for this match.
मार देता है. डायलॉग तो आर्नल्ड भी मार रहा था. डायलॉग के
David Dia. Bhai, everyone, let's have Anshuman's take on David Dia, bro. Come on, Anshuman, go for it, man. Dialogue मार रहा David Dia.
वरना तो मैं तो बोल देता, मैं तो कब से बोल रहा हूँ कि बिना डेहिया के खेलो तो ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट ज्यादा चांसेस क्रिएट करेंगे हम. मैं बोल तो रहा हूँ कि जितना सिटी खुद से क्रिएट नहीं करेगी उतना डेहिया क्रिएट करके देगा उनके लिए. मैं तो कब से बोल रहा हूँ. He will hit it out. He will hit out a long ball and he will give the ball straight back to City players. वो सबको पता है. अब हमारा डिफेंस कितना होल्ड करता है वो देखने वाली बात है. मैं तो ग्रुप पे भी बोल रहा था, जस्ट मेक श्योर डेहिया के पैर पे बॉल ना दो, तुम बाहर मार दो, क्लियर कर दो, कुछ भी करो. ही विल स्टॉप अ शॉट. उस पे तुम 20 यार्ड 30 यार्ड से शॉट बजाओ, 5 यार्ड से शॉट बजाओ, ही विल सेव दैट. बट अगर उससे तुम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो कि ऑल ऑफ अ सडन तुम उससे पास निकलवा लो, तो ही विल गिव द बॉल स्ट्रेट अवे जस्ट लाइक ही डिड अगेंस्ट सेविया. स्ट्रेट अवे देगा बॉल. वो नहीं करना है. उसके ऊपर प्रेशर खुद से मत बनवाओ. Don't expect he can play from the back. As a defensive player, as a CB, right now you know he cannot play from the back. उसको बॉल देने का ही नहीं है. Shaw can play from the back, Lindelof can play from the back, Varane can play from the back. इन तीनों का यूटिलाइजेशन करो. अगर तुम्हें लॉन्ग बॉल भी मारनी है तो मारो ऊपर से, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. मिडफील्ड अगर बाईपास करनी है तो. बट अगर डेहिया के ऊपर प्रेशर बनाने दोगे तो हालैंड ग्रिलिश है तो खा जाएंगे. ये तो तुम्हें निकलने भी नहीं देंगे बॉल वहां से.
Yeah, and the fact I think is देवेश बोल रहे ना कहीं ना कि in play it kind of makes sense as well. आप देखो तो Shaw, Lindelof, Varane और Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Varane can make that in the gameplay. You have attack from one side, don't attack from both the sides, and I think ये हो सकता है. But again it depends on in my personal opinion. अगर वो खेलते से I know काफी मैनचेस्टर फैन नहीं सोच रहे कि मैकफ्रेड खेलेंगे. I have a strange feeling for this one. He might actually use them.
मैकफ्रेड unrealistic लग रहा है मुझे, to be very honest.
मतलब एक जन, I mean one of the two might play, I feel. For this particular time.
अगर Fred the way he performed at Old Trafford, the way he had cameos in the last few games, उसका start बनता है in my opinion, because वो उसके interceptions और उसके tackles, that's gonna be very very interesting in the game. अगर वो सिर्फ बॉल लूज ना करे, he is like he will drop a 9 out of 10. अगर बॉल लूज करेगा फिर तो भगवान से ही प्रार्थना करते हैं हम कि फ्रेड के पास दो ही चीजें हैं, या either he drops a 9 out of 10, either he drops a 0 out of 10. उसका बीच का कोई गेम नहीं है, So as United fan, I can just hope कि 9 out of 10 वाला डाले.
So with Nathan, with Stefan possibly starting, Ortega starting for City, I believe, and this is a high possibility considering what he's done for the Cup games. Somewhere down the line, do you think that there will be as an onus on taking shots? I know Stefan Ortega is pretty good at that, but generally speaking, do you think that again the fact that I spoke about Bruno Fernandes, maybe use differently, as in get Bruno Fernandes at the end of things and then maybe use the legs of maybe either a McTominay or a Fred? Is that something that is a possibility considering Sancho is good but is not in the like top form, right?
I think I think we will try our luck at distance, but I wouldn't rely on it.
Hmm.
Sancho, you know what? I've had serious doubts on Sancho last couple of maybe last for the last month. What I think is right that he does tend to show up on a big day, Liverpool, here there, Hopefully hopefully they have gotten a bit of a break. Hopefully they can relax. Hopefully they can just go there with a fresh intention. And I'm still very optimistic. Yeah. I think if Ortega does start, although I don't believe Pep, if I'm being very honest with you. I mean, he's been known to bullshit from time to time. So let's not pretend like that Stefan Ortega is going to start for sure. But
Yeah,
um,
knowing Pep, that's a
it
great point.
I mean, like everyone's like I just read someone say Stefan Ortega is going to start one less chance to create. I mean, like I wouldn't even believe it until I see him on the pitch anyway. So let's see that. If that is the case, yes, I think he's an absolute downgrade for Edison. So that does bow in well in our favor. Considering we don't have an out and out striker, I think it's kind of nullified in that way, in that sense, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
No one
No,
to
no, absolutely.
probably dig his elbows into him. No one to bother him around the box if it goes short. So not anyone that is in tuned in general, at least to do so. So I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be a benefit to us, but not necessarily a game winning benefit.
And again, I don't see as much as there's a European final next week. I don't see honestly
Uh,
कि Pep ज़्यादा changes करेगा. I think that he'll play strongest team, knowing that it is a Manchester derby, knowing that it's an FA Cup final, knowing it's a possibility of double and then a treble. I think मेरा ये opinion है. City fans in the house, आप लोग भी बोलिए. मैं देख रहा हूँ काफी City fans है. भाई यहाँ ये question में ये comment इसलिए मैं highlight किया हूँ. अंशुमन, you know exactly why I've highlighted this comment. भाई मतलब यहाँ पर बहुत सारे चीज चल रहे हैं दैट आई नो हम धीरे धीरे ट्रांसफर्स पर भी आएंगे दैट यूनाइटेड आर ट्राइंग टू पुट इन मैग्वायर इन द डील ऑफ मेसन माउंट इज दैट एन ऑनेस्ट थिंग मतलब
मुझे
अगेन
लगता है
यार मैग्वायर
फालतू की बातें टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट एंड इवन द मेसन माउंट डील मैंने एक चीज बोली है कि चेल्सी के मांगने से कुछ नहीं होता व्हेन यू हैव अ प्लेयर हु इज विलिंग टू लीव और जब उसके पास एक साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है ही इज नॉट गेटिंग द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दैट यू गाइस आर गिविंग टू हिम तो वो एक साल अपना he barely played this season ठीक है
नो बट थिंग्स कैन चेंज ना अंशुमान ये बहुत बार देखा भी हमने प्लेयर्स
things can
15
change
दिन
but
में अगर
मेरे
पोचेटिनो आ जाता है बात करता है जस्ट सेइंग इफ यू आर एबल टू होल्ड ऑन टिल अबाउट 13 मोर डेज
No, but ठीक है,
मे बी
अगर उस तरीके से if Pochettino can convince कि भाई माउंट को रुक जाए यहाँ पे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है but माउंट के लिए 80 मिलियन देना is like अपना सर मार लेना यार कहीं जाके माउंट अगर माउंट 80 मिलियन का है फिर तो फ्रैंकी डियोंग तो 800 मिलियन का हो गया because
See,
फ्रैंकी
that's
डियोंग
the point ना क्योंकि he is our man मतलब let's be honest as much as वो बहुत ही मतलब क्या बोलते हैं work horse people say भाई वो एक work horse ज़्यादा है compared to a skill player he has both I would like to argue definitely यार ऐसी कोई बंदा Champions League starting level में नहीं होता when you win the Champions League and not
मैं
just
वही
for
बोल
one
रहा हूँ
season for multiple seasons लेकिन साथ साथ में उसका age देखो 24 he is an English man he starts for England more often than not ठीक है देन यू हैव अ पर्सन हु इज बैक्ड बाय टुकल मतलब पॉटर लैम्पार्ड चलो ठीक है हम बात भी नहीं करते टुकल ने पूरा बैक किया उसको और खाली एक साल की बात नहीं है आई थिंक एक साल एंड वर्बली 1+1 ईयर का ऑप्शन भी दिया गया था उसको इज व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड सो दैट इज देयर बट द बॉटम लाइन बीइंग दैट अगर आप कंपेटिटर को दे रहे हो ना मतलब बीइंग अ चेल्सी फैन मैं तो फर्स्टली देना नहीं चाहता विद ऑल ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट टू मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड ठीक है साथ में आप अगर कंपेटिटर को दे रहे हो जो हमने देखा इन द पास्ट व्हाट हैज हैपेंड अ सर्टेन मैन सिटी क्लब नोज इट बेटर देन मोस्ट राइट तो वहां पर आई थिंक एक्स्ट्रा टैक्स लगना है इंग्लिश टैक्स हो गया एक्स्ट्रा कंपटीशन टैक्स हो गया प्लस द फैक्ट
ठीक है
दैट ही इज आवर कॉबम बॉय who's been there for 15 साल
नो वे वी शुड पे मोर देन 50 सिंपल सी बात है एक साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है 2-3 साल का होता है वो अलग की बात है even for 50 I am saying कि हम ज्यादा दे रहे हैं but then as you said English tax and all that 50 is the maximum we should even think about अगर उसके ऊपर दे रहे हैं तो फिर हम कुछ सीख नहीं रहे अपनी गलतियों से फिर हम चूते के चूते ही हैं फिर तो कोई लॉजिक ही नहीं है फिर सारा ट्रांसफर मार्केट में जाओ ही मत you know,
मतलब
फिर तो
वो सेम चीज मैं चेल्सी के बारे में बोल सकता हूँ. इफ यू आर गिविंग जो स्ट्रेंथनिंग मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड विद अ player who loves your badge, which is questionable for me in 50 million. But again, I hear your point from your point of view 100%. Nathan, one question I had, I think other day also. Yeah, please, Anshuman, continue.
यूनाइटेड को ओवरपे करने की आदत है, you know, and we will, in my opinion, end up paying 55. हम 55 के ऊपर नहीं जाएंगे because we have other areas to consider as well. ठीक है, तो अगर हम माउंट को, मेरे ख्याल से if we take Mount, he will slot in easily. You know, I'm not a huge fan of the player.
नहीं, मैं उसी पर आ रहा हूँ अंशुमन. चलो आपसे ही पूछते हैं. Now that the fact that you said, and I agree, where a Manchester United fan इतना excited नहीं होगा in terms of the way he plays versus how Manchester United is playing, क्योंकि he is a typical number 8. अब चेल्सी में भी आप देखो, जब भी नंबर 8 खेला है वो एकदम बहुत बढ़िया खेला है. मतलब I think he's really played at world class level. People might mock at me, but short term memory loss होता है लोगों को यार. भाई, this guy is one of the most exciting players in Europe when he does his work. And workhorse is not something which you do not comment. Let's comment that as well as the other things that he does, the numbers that he had. Plus, लेकिन just the way United play, you have a Bruno Fernandes playing technically, say, little in front of, say, Eriksen और आपका Casemiro. तो आपको Casemiro is someone who kind of a playmaker, you can say, ठीक है, who puts in the beautiful balls. मेसन माउंट डालता है वो ड्रिल्ड पास, लेकिन बहुत ही डिफरेंट प्लेयर है, उसके पास लेग्स है. आई डोंट थिंक आपकी मिडफील्ड कैन रिलाई ऑन ओनली Casemiro defending. You need a proper DM right next to him. That's what you're ideally looking at.
You know, that's why I said Casemiro हमारा CDM है, ठीक है. We need a backup for Casemiro as well. You know, हमें Casemiro का भी, but in my opinion, सीधा upgrade है Mason Mount over Eriksen. You know, I think he will start straight away. And we have seen that Eric Ten Hag backs himself to improve certain players. Look at the way he has improved Rashford. You know, even Lindelof. Look at the way Lindelof is playing. मतलब ठीक है, सारे मतलब उसके साइड से हमने मैगवायर हटाया है, तो Lindelof बिल्कुल ऐसा हो गया जैसे नेस्टा का भूत सवार हो गया वो. उस पे बॉल्स भी निकाल रहा है, एरियली भी विन कर रहा है, टैकल्स भी मार रहा है. You know, so yes, definitely I back the manager कि अगर उसको लग रहा है कि ठीक है. But as I said, उस पोजीशन के लिए बहुत ज्यादा बंदे अवेलेबल नहीं है. Our first choice was Frankie de Jong. दुनिया को पता है ये, ठीक है. But Frankie de Jong को वहां से हिलना नहीं, तो there is absolutely no point कि हम फिर से पूरा का पूरा विंडो वेस्ट करें. Jude Bellingham, हम obviously we wanted Jude Bellingham, but fortunately is going to at least Madrid, not City. तो उस पोजीशन के लिए बहुत ज्यादा बंदे अवेलेबल नहीं है on a certain price. तो 55 as I said, even though मेरे लिए ये भी थोड़ा ज्यादा है, but 55 I think we will end up paying. अगर चेल्सी को लग रहा है कि we will end up paying 75-80 million, so that's not gonna happen in my opinion. But हाँ, I definitely back the manager कि उससे बेस्ट निकलवा ले for United. You know, बाकी प्लेयर कोई भी फ्लॉप हो सकता है भैया, सिंपल सी बात है.
नहीं, बिल्कुल ये बहुत लोग बोल रहे हैं अराउंड 55-60 मिलियन काइंड ऑफ इज अ फेयर डील. इधर साइड में थोड़ा सा चेल्सी टैक्स हो गया, थोड़ा सा मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड टैक्स हो गया, इंग्लिश टैक्स हो गया एंड ऑल दैट. बट अगेन कमिंग टू द टैक्टिकल पार्ट ऑफ थिंग्स, हाउ डू यू सी, आई नो अंशुमन ने बोला नेथन दैट Mason Mount when he comes, he's probably going to be starting. मैं एक नाम बोला था which you were linked with I think last week as well, Mohamed Kudus, because Mohamed Kudus will get the buffer of coming into the Premier League. He's one who's played for Ten Hag. He's left-footed. He can be the replacement for a Bruno Fernandes when you need be, and you get a proper DM. Say for example a Declan Rice. I actually feel if I was a United fan, I would have felt that you would rather need a Declan Rice next to a Casemiro, and then you need a replacement or a backup for Fernandes, because of the fact that as much as we say कि वेगोर्स वो खेल सकता है, वेगोर्स साइन करना कोई फायदा नहीं है. I feel at the same time Sancho, he's experimented the number 10 role. Let's be honest, he's not a number 10. So where do you see Mason Mount? As in you have to change the way that you play, don't you?
Yeah, I suppose we would have to. I mean, I very clearly I told you yesterday, was it, that I don't want Mason Mount. I gave you my reasoning. I thought it was very fair reasoning. Nothing personal with the player or anything like that.
Please, as in you would like to reiterate that, please, because I don't think we spoke here, but definitely.
No, we spoke on TCSB's channel, right?
Yes.
So basically what I said,
different, right? So
yeah, basically what I said is I don't want Mason Mount because I don't want somebody else's player. I'd like to develop a player into our own Manchester United player. I think the mistake we have done over the years is take other people's players, established talent, try to revive their career, or they have come for money, and it's mostly ended out very bittersweet for us. You could even go as far as saying Eriksen was kind of the same thing. Of course, he was a free agent, but let's be honest. Tottenham Hotspur fans are very pissed that they didn't go in for him when he was only going to leave Brentford for Spurs or United. Otherwise, he was very happy at Brentford. Spurs never came in. We came in. So the Spurs fans are kind of salty about that, considering all they have is DMs and that two useless ones at that. That's another discussion. So that's why I kind of don't want Mount. But I followed up by saying, of course, if that's what the manager wants, we go with the
Correct.
manager. The manager hasn't gone wrong yet, so I'm okay with it personally. That way, we'll have to change, but I think Mason Mount will have
See,
to do a
that
lot
is why
more work.
as a Chelsea fan, to be honest, मैच सुबह यार तो थोड़ा सा rant पर भी चले गया था because I genuinely believe that while he is a very good player, I'm not trying to say he's a great player. He's not a starter on form right now. I believe, right? He does not deserve a start either in Chelsea or Manchester United right now on form. Lekin the kind of player that he's been, what potential he has, and of course Eric Ten Hag works very well, like with the players that you guys itself said in the panel as well as a lot of people in the chat. I agree, and that's a proof in it. But it's not like a Manchester United, like any Manchester United fan that I'm speaking to, be it social media, be it basically anywhere on the panel or what I'm seeing on, on fan forums. I'm not seeing like Manchester United like wow, as in we are getting Mason Mount. There's no excitement, and here there are Chelsea fans which are poles apart. One were like, okay, thank God the guys are fraud, and these are like kids, bro. With all due respect, I know that these Chelsea fans, I hope they don't represent Chelsea at any point. But at the other hand, there are people who know what the problem in Chelsea has been. The identity has been lacking for years together. And he's someone who could probably help in building that identity even further. What we have built in the last few years, which will again start from scratch. I don't know why. That's what maybe the owners have done to us. But so here there is still a section of the crowd who badly want Mason Mount here, and Manchester United. I've not seen, at least I've not seen a single person who's like, wow, excited about Mason Mount. And that's the whole idea about saying that I really am surprised by the fact that Erik Ten Hag is going. I know it's not based on the fan, but एक होता है ना कि यार as much as the coach definitely knows more. जैसे यहाँ पर मैंने भी यार highlight किया था टुकल के बारे में, but at some point I think he also needs to understand that okay fine, as in the board is also working, and I know Manchester United board you don't trust. I totally get that, but I believe they're also working. मतलब हमारे साथ 30,000 प्लेयर लिंक होते हैं तो मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड के साथ 60,000 प्लेयर लिंक होते हैं, राइट अंशुमन? तो among the other links in that sort of a player, don't you think, say, going for a Declan Rice or a Caicedo, etc., would have made sense? I love what is the reason for not going for such a player? Because Caicedo, for example, can do everything, right? Can't he?
Well, he can't play right back at least, from what I've seen. But to all jokes aside, I think Mount is also the same reason we're going for Rabiot, which is a cheaper option compared to the budget we have in mind. I feel the chunk of our budget, unless we get the favorable ownership, let's call it. I think we have to stick to 200, and if we're going to spend upwards of 100 on some sort of forward combination, possibly, we gotta basically adjust somewhere, and I think midfield is where we'll adjust. Unfortunately for us. And I think that's why Mount is I also think people aren't excited for Mount the same reason I'm not, Ankit Bhai, which I think is very reasonable. We don't want another team's established player. We want someone to come here, get their feet wet in our club, build their own resume on our club, like Alessandro Martinez, for example.
Exactly, and that's something that, for example, Mount has done in Chelsea. So we want that to build further rather than
Yeah, of course, it makes sense. It makes sense why your fans don't want him to come. For us, I feel that is one of our reasonings. Now, granted, Eriksen has one more year. I don't think we are going to extend it. So we need an Eriksen replacement at the moment. Listen, Bruno can play tomorrow if we call him up. Put on your shoes, buddy. Let's go. No warm up. He'll be our first person on the pitch. No stretching. He'll say, "I've done this already for 3,000 minutes today. I'll do it for a few more." So he can, but so we might not have to look for a replacement for him this season. But we need an Eriksen replacement because I think McTominay is going to go. I don't want Fred here. I don't want a bunch of our defense. Like we are going to, if it was up to me, we'd lose a lot of players this season. And I don't think it's going to be made. So we have to make a concession somewhere. And I think the concession will in the end be a midfield. Because I think we're going to get Kim and Jay. I think we're going to get a striker. So just based on that maths alone, I think the concession will be in the midfield.
Got it. Anyway, भाई दूसरे पोजीशन के बारे में बात करते थोड़ा सा अंशुमन. मतलब आई नो स्ट्राइकर इज अ नो ब्रेनर दैट यू गाइस नीड, क्योंकि एज मच एज वी से कि रैशफोर्ड वहां पर इवेंचुअली स्ट्राइकर बनेगा, मोरिनियो एंड ऑल द मैनेजर्स हु काइंड ऑफ मैनेज्ड मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड इवन से सर एलेक्स सेज दैट I think it's better off coming up the left hand side. So I think striker is a no-brainer, right? So I think Højlund is something which is really getting momentum along with Kolo Muani in the last 24 hours. I know again, take it with a pinch of salt, भाई United fans, EPL fans, आप जानती है Chelsea, Manchester United के भाई links कितने आते हैं. But Anshuman, again, it depends on the ownership. कितने पैसे है, whether it's Glazers, whether it's new owner, which is still I don't think it's 100% confirmed officially yet. So Anshuman, what is your take on that? कि यार striker में are a lot of names. In fact, yeah, Harry Kane might be a possibility considering कि Benzema all of a sudden is staying in Real Madrid, नहीं?
Whoever is thinking even about Harry Kane, मैं उसको deluded बोलूँगा at this point of time. Sorry for being rude or
That's
honest.
me.
If someone is thinking कि we can get Harry Kane, भाई तुम्हें 31 साल के बंदे की क्या फेटिश है 100 मिलियन में, मेरे को समझा दो.
Exactly. I'm so glad you said that, Anshuman. I said the same thing. The buy. I believe I told Ankit this too. The person I want is Rasmus Højlund. I don't know who the second one is, but I've always said Rasmus Højlund. I am very excited about the prospect of Rasmus Højlund. Just to piggyback off Anshuman's point, who wants to pay 100 million for him and then 300k a week? It makes no sense. Everyone's like, you'll get 30 goals. Everyone's like, you'll get 30 goals. I'm like, you'll get 30 goals, okay. But he's been doing 30 goals and winning Tottenham nothing. Even when they were in the peak of their powers, they won nothing. 30, 35 goals. It's like, 30 goals doesn't mean you'll win a league, yeah. If we beat Man City and Inter Milan beat Man City, Haaland's 51 goals only ends up being a league title. Goals is not just necessarily how you're going to win. The whole team has to play better. It has to benefit everybody that's on the pitch.
So who's your call?
For me, I've always said this, Rasmus Højlund. I don't want Harry Kane. To me, I would love Victor Osimhen, but also based again on the budget.
But doesn't
I
the Kolo
cancelled him a
Muani
long
kind
time
of fit the bill of playing like at the elite level in World Cups?
Don't mind Kolo Muani, but my first pick out of the top of my head, you ask me every time, I'll just say Højlund. Like if I have to just buy one this time, I'll go Højlund.
भाई Haaland versus Højlund, talk about Manchester versus Manchester that you are anyways talking to. And by the way, मैं देख रहा हूँ कमेंट्स में, क्या होता है ना भाई, सब लोग जो भी इतने लाइव स्ट्रीम में जुड़ते नहीं है, मेरे भाई और बहनों, भाई सब लोग जो भी है चैट में, भाई बिग अप टू द पैनल फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल. सब लोग लाइक बटन दबाइए, जस्ट टेक्स अ बटन, डेफिनेटली हेल्प्स द स्ट्रीम, द एल्गोरिथम. नेथन को सपोर्ट करिए, यूनाइटेड को सपोर्ट करिए, लेट्स गेट देम टू द नेक्स्ट लैंडमार्क. एंड नॉट जस्ट दैट, हिट दैट बेल नोटिफिकेशन आइकॉन. मैंने आज सुबह एक वीडियो डाली है, एंड एज अ मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव मिस्ड इट. आई नो दैट आई माइट हैव नॉट हैव पुट इन द राइट टाइम फॉर यू गाइस, बट डेफिनेटली चेक इट आउट. वहां पर मैंने डिटेल में बात की है फ्रॉम अ चेल्सी पर्सपेक्टिव. तो यहाँ पर मैं यूनाइटेड पर्सपेक्टिव से ले रहा हूँ इन टर्म्स ऑफ सर्टेन ट्रांसफर्स, एंड विल कम टू सिटी टॉक्स एज वेल. थोड़ा
I will add one thing. If you are a club of United stature, ठीक है, if you act sensibly in the market, ठीक है, and we have a chance to get both the players for a combined sum of around 110 million. दोनों बंदे, अगर हम थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगा के, थोड़ा सा, ज्यादा भी नहीं, थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगाएं, where we can try to ship out Martial, Elanga Jair, so basically you can get around 30 million from those guys, दोनों मिला के. I'm not going कि भाई हमें 50 million मिल जाएंगे मार्शियल और एलंगा बेच के, but 35 million के रेंज में we can get. ठीक है, we spend 110 million, हमारा net spend होगा 75 million. You have Højlund as well as Kolo Muani who can be utilized as a wide forward as well. ठीक है, which we have seen with Frankfurt. जहाँ पे जब Rafael Borro when he used to play as a central striker, Kolo Muani used to come back from the left hand side, at times even from the right hand side. So we have seen he is a versatile forward. ठीक है, Højlund is your proper number 9. ठीक है, उसको वो fox in the box बोलो, he will keep on moving. He is getting better and better with every game in terms of his holding a play. तो जो लोग बोलते हैं कि अरे केन असिस्ट भी देता है, अरे कोलो मुआनी के ज्यादा असिस्ट है यार केन से, क्या करूं मैं? बोल दूं कि कोलो मुआनी इज अ मच बेटर स्ट्राइकर देन केन. ये क्रिएट करता है, इसलिए 100 मिलियन दे दो. मतलब दूसरे के बारे में मत सोचो, बस 100 मिलियन दे दे क्योंकि ले भी मांग रहा है.
नहीं अंशुमन, देखो हैरी केन तो ये तो माननी पड़ेगी बात दैट ही इज इन द एलीट कैटेगरी फॉर अ गुड फ्यू इयर्स. ऐसा नहीं कि भाई बंदा 1-2 साल के लिए किया है. इन द प्रीमियर लीग इज अ लीडर.
हैरी केन मुझे 26 साल की एज में मिल रहा होता ना, मैं सोने नेक्स्ट ऑफ
भाई 29 is not old यार, मतलब अगेन आई नो केन स्टार्टेड अर्ली, वो भी है, जैसे रूनी ने बहुत जल्दी शुरू किया, तो केन आल्सो कंपैरेटिवली एज इन जनरली स्टार्ट अर्ली किया, लेकिन 29 is not old यार.
1 year left on the contract. अगर तुम एक साल वाले बंदे के लिए अगर जाके मार्केट में 100 मिलियन देगा ना, how are you going to even approach other players who are having like 5 years 6 years? हॉयलैंड ने जस्ट अभी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन किया है. जस्ट इमेजिन,
you have to be smart with the money.
Yeah, if you go to Atalanta, you are like, you know what, Haaland, you will be Harry Kane's backup. We are paying 120 million for Harry Kane. Atlanta बोलेगी अच्छा, एक साल के बंदे के लिए तो 30 साल का है ऑलरेडी, उसके लिए तुम 120 दे रहे हो, और तुम्हें हॉयलैंड हमसे 50 मिलियन में चाहिए. एक काम करो, इसके भी 80 दो, ये तो अभी 20 साल का है, ये will give you 10 years.
जो बेंजामिन सेस्को का भी पॉसिबिलिटी था, बाय द वे, कन्वर्सेशन जो चल रही थी लास्ट समर, इफ यू रिमेंबर, बिफोर ही एक्सटेंडेड द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. यू आर राइट. लेकिन आई थिंक आप, आई नो वी वर अगेन गोइंग बैक टू द यू नो फर्स्ट डिस्कशन इन ट्रांसफर जो हमने कर रहे थे अबाउट say Mason Mount, right? So if Mason Mount, if the chat here, majority of the chat में दिख रहा है, and I trust my almighty fam as well as myself and you guys here, मुझे लगता है वही 50 से 60 मिलियन अगर आप बोल रहे हो Mason Mount के लिए at best, right? So he's an Englishman, he's a attacking midfielder / number 8 is what you are talking about, and then you have a Harry Kane, which is next in terms of numbers, 24 versus 30 years of age. I understand what you're saying, but I still feel कि यार, considering that he is English captain, ठीक है, considering that he is basically, of course, Spurs का tax अलग से लगता ही है, whether you like it or not, ठीक है, then you have the fact is he's a guy who's wanting to chase Spurs to break records.
सारे को कुछ जीतते नहीं है, वो टैक्स ही लगाते रह जाते हैं, ठीक है. उनके
पास that's not a Spurs tax, that's a stadium tax. They haven't done anything in forever.
Exactly.
It's a Daniel Levy tax, because that's the only reason the Spurs fans like him. Money comes in so they can spend money somewhere else. That's the only reason they like him. They don't like him at all.
न्यू स्टेडियम, 60,000 का स्टेडियम भर के वो खुश हैं, you know, कि हमने स्टेडियम भर दिया भाई, वो उसी में खुश हैं. उनको ट्रॉफी से कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. They are not even bothered about the trophy. मैंने किसी स्पोर्ट्स फैन को ये बोलते नहीं दिखा कि अगले साल एटलीस्ट वी शुड ट्राई टू विन अ लीग कप. मतलब वो लीग कप की भी बातें नहीं करते. वो लीग कप की भी बातें नहीं करते. उनको पता है कि जब तक वो उस सीजन में वहां तक पहुंचेंगे, ठीक है, तब तक इनका काम तमाम हो चुका होगा. Simple सी बात है. So Spurs fans, like Chelsea fans, even if they are having a rough season, they were talking about, you know, we might just be able to make the, you know, we might just able to make the Champions League. You never know, because last time we were having a rubbish season, you ended up winning the Champions League. You know, तो Chelsea fans at least वो mindset है ना. United fans का अच्छा, चलो ठीक है यार, City are.
और हम लोग का एक हिस्ट्री में ना, we have done that in the past. Spurs to be winner again.
And United fans का यार ठीक है यार, City can win the treble, but at the same point of time we can ruin it. Let's try to get the FA Cup. Spurs fans का मतलब उनको वो बस वो आर्सेनल में ही उनकी दुनिया है. मतलब आर्सेनल साला 5th आ रहा है, 6th आ रहा है, वो उसी में खुश हैं वो. अब तो वो उस पर भी खुश नहीं हो सकते, वो भी सेकंड आ गए इस बार. तो वो जो खुशी मना रहे थे कि भाई, you know, the only place to watch Champions League in North London, अब तो वो भी नहीं कर सकते. तुम भाई कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग खेल लो, वही बहुत बड़ी बात है तुम्हारे लिए.
I hear you absolutely. But again, by everyone in the chat, again for people who are joining late, we have discussed FA Cup in the first 20-25 minutes, and we'll before ending the stream we'll come back to it. थोड़ा सा भाई सीजन के बारे में बात करें. What has Manchester United done? भाई Nathan, one controversial take, and by the way, यहाँ पर City fans are wondering, भाई we are talking City as well. Yeah, definitely we are talking Chelsea, City भी. लेकिन आज focus is Manchester United. Let's be real. Based on the panel. तो यार Nathan, I know it's a different take, but as a neutral, as a content creator, what would you say about this? Rio Ferdinand has actually been surprised the fact that Kovacic is being praised by City and not United. जो चीज़ हमने बोला था about back to the midfield, where he's a ball carrier, he's someone who can become a playmaker as well as someone who can drill a pass. So he can kind of do all the things apart from scoring a goal, which is not something that you would expect much from Eriksen anyway. I would believe, right? So. मतलब Kovacic to Man City is a better fit, because I actually am surprised again, just like Mason Mount, कि मुझे नहीं लगता Man City में he'll get a lot of starts, considering they already have a lot of established players. He might, but you know, for his sake, I hope I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. But what do you think about it? City versus United, Kovacic.
So Rio Ferdinand is surprised that City are interested in him.
He's surprised that United are not going for him. And City are going for him. It's a fact.
The fact that he's surprised about it shows that he doesn't pay attention to our ownership to begin with. What's actually surprising?
Guys, you're talking about Rio Ferdinand.
No, you know what? No. I'm going to say something now. I'm hearing all these people talk about all the players. You know, we have so many player FC people here. Let me tell you, if anyone's in the chat, no, you're all blind. understand something. When people play for a team, right? They play for the team and leave. We stick around. Just because they did something in a shirt, no, that doesn't mean their opinion's better than ours. Because they
Of
wear
course,
red
of
tinted
course.
glasses. They wear
No,
red tinted
okay.
glasses. They take their glory on their back. And for the last 10 years where there's no glory, they think they're still back in 2008. We're not in 2008.
No, so okay. Let me give you a context because it seems like maybe you not heard that interview or rather the
Absolutely.
statement.
I don't listen to
So
any of our pundits. After what
okay,
Gary Neville says regularly, I don't pay attention to anything they say.
okay.
I am
So
not
guys,
interested.
as a content creator, it's my duty to bring it up. The context भाई ये है Rio Ferdinand ने बोला है about Kovacic that this guy is actually won multiple Champions Leagues. He's someone who can carry forward the ball. He's someone who can actually put that ball in the right space, which kind of Eriksen can done. Maybe not at Eriksen level, but if you see the package, he probably can bring you more than what Eriksen can bring, along with the experience of winning things. He's a serial winner, right? And having a lot of Premier League experience. Why people do not realize he's been underrated from last 4 years, except for this year where he's been shit. Kovacic, 5 years is what his experience is, right? And for him to have played those World Cup finals, semi-finals, Champions League semi-finals, year in year out with Real Madrid, with Chelsea, and maybe previously with Inter Milan
World
as
Cup
well.
final.
Of course.
World Cup
So
final.
with that, I think वो context में बोल रहा था that Mason Mount is still young and he exactly does not fit the profile of an Eriksen more compared to Kovacic. So I am surprised that we are letting go Kovacic, who's such a serial winner in that profile, to a Man City when he's available maybe at 30 million. So why don't go at 30 million for Kovacic rather than pay high for Mason Mount is what his point was. And I think I agree with him as much as I love Kovacic as well. Just saying. That's neutral.
Well, even if I were to say I agree with Ferdinand, he clearly does not pay attention to our owners. So why are we taking Mount? We are taking Mount because we have a large outgoings of local talent. We need to fill in the quota first of all. Second of all, he's very good in media. Oh, and particular owners love that. Certain particular owners love that. So, and we are taking him. Also, they want Kovacic. Bernardo might not be there. Gundogan might not be there. Who else knows who might leave? Calvin Phillips has not played barely any games. Maybe they'll send him out. He might actually get game time in Man City, depending on what Man City want to do.
But
First of all, and
is he
second of
better
all
than
with
Gundogan?
Mount.
Is he better
No,
than
but if
Gundogan?
but Ankit, if Gundogan wants to go, it doesn't matter if he's better than him or not. That's what I'm trying
No,
to
what
say.
I'm trying to say is, don't you think City will probably try and get another player? I think
Well, I
abhi
mean,
wo team hai, entire
City
middle
wanted
process.
Maguire, Ankit bhai. City wanted Maguire. Like, but I'm not saying Pep's signings are all come out to fruition. I'm not saying he'll be better than Gundogan. I'm just saying they want him because they make smart decisions and we don't. And that's all down to the ownership. And the truth of the matter is, whether we want Kovacic or not, I think we have to fill in the English quota because look how many English players we're going to leave. Local
That's a
talent.
good point. And we are missing that as Chelsea.
McTominay, Maguire, Jones is already gone. Tuanzebe is gone. We have to fill in the minimum home talent quota as well, and people
Heaton
don't
will be
take that
going
into
out as
consideration.
well. Heaton is going out as well.
Yeah,
Butland is what's his name?
you have to take that into consideration. People don't take that
Yeah.
into consideration because we are trying to fill in holes with non-English talent, so we don't look at the local side. And the other thing is, think about who else we are going for, Ankit bhai. We're going for free agents. We are not in the
Rabio,
business
I
right
think, is
now.
the one that you've been linked for a while now, right?
Yeah.
For
रैबियो को तो
example.
कैरेक्टर के बाहर भी मिच्छम भी मत मारने दो उसको
Also, I
एंट्री
don't
मत
want him. I also don't want him.
His
I'm
form comes into picture, right? If she is, I think, the
एग्जैक्टली मतलब
one who deals.
उसकी मम्मी का स्टैचू बनवा दो बिकॉज इफ नॉट फॉर हर वी वोंट हैव गॉट कासेमिरो तो उसकी मम्मी का स्टैचू बनवा दो और उसके आगे रोज जाके नारियल चढ़ा कि इसका बेटा हमारे लिए कभी ना खेले बिकॉज शी वाज द वन हु डिमांडेड मोर मनी एंड यही होगा इफ समहाउ भगवान ना करे अगर हमारी किस्मत खराब है और अगर वो यूनाइटेड हम साइन कर लेते हैं उसको वो 2 गेम नहीं खेलेगा इसकी मम्मी ने रंगी रोना कर देना है पूरा सॉरी फॉर द फाउल लैंग्वेज बट वो यही करना है उसकी मम्मी ने she will come out and she will start calling out the owner, she will start calling out the manager. That's what she does every time. The only reason
That's exactly correct.
Exactly.
That's exactly correct.
Sorry again for the foul was exactly the point that Musab bhai said. Same thing. Absolutely, clear cut to the point.
नहीं बिल्कुल एंड अगेन मतलब फॉर समवन हु फॉलोस एरिया वेरी क्लोजली यार मैं इतना जरूर से बोल सकता हूँ कि राबियो हैज इंप्रूव्ड बट नोवेयर क्लोज टू व्हाट जो प्रॉमिस दिखाया था 4 years ago and nowhere close to the Manchester United standard. It's because of the fact
No,
that he
but
was
even
supposedly
but
free.
Ankit bhai, even if he's improved, at the end of the day, look at what we're trying to get. We're trying to penny pinch at the end of the day. Forget Rabiot. Let's take another free agent. Let's say Tielemans. What is the point? The point is we're trying to penny pinch because we're trying to put our money up top, and the Kim Min Jae. We are not trying to focus on the midfield, so we're trying to get cheaper options in. That's what's happening right now. So Rabiot seems good. Mason Mount fills 2 quotas. We get a good quality player. Christian Eriksen won't be renewed the following year. I like him, but he won't be renewed the following year. So we have a straight slot in. Whether he plays after Christian Eriksen or not, I don't know. It depends on what Ten Hag wants. But we have someone long term. Plus, he's an English talent. Plus, he's good with media. Plus, he fills in the quota. So Mason Mount makes sense. On the other side, Rabiot makes sense. Free agent, no transfer fee. So these are what we are going for. And Man City are going, okay, this guy is not being utilized here. He'll fit in our position whether he starts or not. Pep will wind him up. I saw someone say Hoyland has 8 goals in 31 games. Dude, Hoyland is also a young kid. And just to put context into matters, Sebastian Haller was shit from West Ham, went to Ajax, won stuff with Ajax. Guess who changed it around? Dusan Tadic is as old as Ronaldo, turned his
Correct.
career around, and he's still playing at Ajax. So
It was Eric
Ten
Ten Hag,
Hag
right?
will convert the we'll have the Rasmus Højlund effect. Mark my words, we will get
That's
it.
what I have been saying as well. That he trusts himself to get the job done with the players that he got. He won't come out in the media crying that okay, we don't have players available or something like that. He has already sent his message. That you have to invest. But he won't say that the team that the team that he got with himself right now is not going to come out and say okay, this team cannot do the job. He will push everyone to the limits. Whether we win or lose, that's totally different. But he will push everyone to the limit. He knows that he need to invest. He cannot go out and win the Premier League with this team. That's simple. It's as simple as that. But he is not going to say, okay, we are in the final and we have no chance at all. Obviously, as a manager, he's not going to say.
Agreed. भाई guys, I'm going to end the stream in a couple of minutes. So भाई सब लोग जो भी like button नहीं दबा दीजिए और सब लोग जो भी यहाँ पर subscribe नहीं किया हमें as well as Sportsnet Nathan, United Road, भाई consider doing dropping a subscribe to them as well as our second channel Almighty Sports as well. भाई सब लोग यहाँ पर आप लोग बोलिए United fans and even neutrals, how much would you rate United season out of 10 is my first question, and second question is what are your expectations from the FA Cup final and of course the next season as a minimum. Anshumaan, start with you.
I think if we end up winning the FA Cup final, that would be a 9 out of 10 season for me, considering the team that we have. We barely had any striker throughout, and we're still doing a cup double, finishing top 3, 17, 18 points above the way we were last season. So that would be a 9 out of 10 season. But to be very honest, although I want us to win, obviously as a United fan, want to win the derby badly, but in my opinion, we are not going to win it. So I think City just has the edge. They have the edge right now.
Pretty any as in particular expectations you have minimum next season के लिए, Anshumaan?
Next season totally depends on the transfer window here. If we have a good transfer window, just like the manager wants, we are going to challenge City. If we are just going for the half-hearted signings, जिसको कोई टीम नहीं रख रहा उसको उठा के ले आया just to fill up the numbers, तो फिर तो top 4 के भी लाले पड़ने वाले हैं अगले साल. Because Arsenal will improve, Chelsea under Pochettino definitely gonna improve. ठीक है, Spurs भी थोड़ा बहुत improve करेगी. They are going to sign new manager, थोड़ा सा वो पैसा भी वो भी फेंकेंगे. Then you have Newcastle, they are going bonkers. वो जाके 200-250 million वो भी फेंकेंगे in the market. So it's gonna get more competitive. And वही है, when you have जब वही वाली बात है ना कि you cannot just depend on your playing 11. Playing 11 अभी भी हमारा सही है. But when you will look at the City's bench, कि कौन आके game change कर सकता है, then you will look at United's bench, कि कौन आके game change कर सकता है, वहाँ पे सारा difference आ जाता है. So if we have a good transfer window, we will challenge City. अगर नहीं तो फिर तो top 4 भी आ जाए तो बहुत बड़ी बात है.
Yeah, and Utkarsh is a good point. By the way, yes. What about your predictions, Nathan? And of course, what are your expectations? How do you rate
to
this
the
season?
Europa champions, Utkarsh. So I mean, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, Nathan, let's get over this, bro. As in 3 questions. What are you rating this season? What is
8
your
out of 10.
expectation next season? And
Second place.
what is your prediction for tomorrow?
1-0.
Chalo. You heard that right. 8 out of 10. David, whatever the shit squad depth. I'm not sure about shit squad depth, but I understand being a United fan why you feel that.
Shit spot depth
But
की वजह से ही मैंने 9 बोला, otherwise I would have given
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Easy
yeah,
answer.
it's about the
8
quality
out
of
10.
backups, etc. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. The only reason because the way he has turned it around. You know, when you look at the way our players have been injured. You know, एक तो हमारा वैसे ही players कम है in terms of the quality. ऊपर से वो भी injured है, and still he has somehow kept pushing the squad. You know, to get ahead, get the job done. So, चलो, let's see.
बिल्कुल तो गाइज दैट वाज इट ब्रो एज एन एवरीवन भाई कल हम मिलेंगे कल हम शायद ऑलमाइटी स्पोर्ट्स में करें तो पीपल आर नॉट सब्सक्राइब टू ऑलमाइटी स्पोर्ट्स हिट दैट सब्सक्राइब बटन वहां भी इट्स ऑलवेज द फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिस्क्रिप्शन पीपल हु आर न्यू मेंबर्स एंड यू नो आई नो दैट आई हैव टू कम अप विद द प्रेडिक्शन लीग अनाउंसमेंट आई नो नेथन इज वन एज वेल लेकिन अदर्स एज वेल दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई एम लीविंग इट पेंडिंग जस्ट फॉर नेक्स्ट वीक एज सून एज द सीजन इज ओवर वंस द FA Cup final the UCL final is over you will get that who has won that prediction league contest among members and FPL contest भाई जो भी लोग ने किया था मैं स्क्रीनशॉट ले रखा हूँ कौन फर्स्ट आया था क्विक अनाउंसमेंट यहाँ पर लेट्स गेट टू 10K एज क्विक एज पॉसिबल एंड दैट वाज अ प्रॉमिस दैट आई मेड 9K हो गया तो यहाँ पर मैं ऑलरेडी देने वाला हूँ फॉर द प्रेडिक्शन लीग बट 10K में वील गेट देयर एज वेल तो भाई साथ साथ में लेट्स गेट अंशुमान टू 5K एज वेल लेट्स गेट नेथन टू 2K एज सून एज पॉसिबल कम ऑन लेट्स गेट देयर right now and do not
you will be coming on Sunday on my channel. Finally, we are going to have a
Oh,
Chelsea
yes,
as
yes.
well as United.
एंड आई थिंक ये तो चलता रहेगा अभी भाई यूनाइटेड रोड पे हम संडे को लाइव है शाम को रात को रादर एंड वी आर लाइव देयर मैं अपने पोस्ट करूंगा कम्युनिटी में सेम आई एम प्रीटी श्योर मी एंड नेथन विल आल्सो कोलैब वेरी क्विकली पीपल सो अगेन हिट द सब्सक्राइब बटन देयर एंड टुमारो रिमेंबर ऑलमाइटी स्पोर्ट्स एंड आई एम प्रीटी श्योर द पैन विल आल्सो डू वॉच अलोंग रिव्यूज सो वॉच देयर चैनल्स ब्रिलियंट स्टफ क्योंकि यू विल गेट अ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव बट अभी के लिए लेट्स हिट दैट लाइक बटन एंड रिमेंबर इट्स ऑलवेज अ फैन चैनल फॉर ऑल टू सी भाई सिटी फैंस भाई टू बी ऑनेस्ट एज मच एज मैं तो न्यूट्रल हूँ एकदम सच में बोलूं भाई थोड़ा सा ज्यादा ही फार्मर्स लीग बना रहे हो तो थोड़ा सा यहाँ पर आई रैदर थोड़ा सा सच बोलूं आई वांट यूनाइटेड टू बीट सिटी एंड इंटर मिलान टू लूज ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज ऑफ द एसी मिलान सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर यू गाइस नो इट लेकिन ऑब्वियसली वेरी सैड फॉर चेल्सी एंड ट्रांसफर विंडो भाई अभी वर्ल्ड वॉर 3 बाकी है वील गेट
ऑपरेशन ट्रेबल ओवर टुमारो सी यू देयर
चलो भाई अभी के लिए इतना ही सी यू गुड नाइट एंड सी यू एट TFHD भाई वी आर लाइव इन अ कपल ऑफ मिनट्स बाय गाइस टॉक टू यू बाय